Hey everyone, it's your old pal Yoshi here, back with another one-bar build. Seeing as ESO or Elder Scrolls Online was nice enough to come out with a new, what do they call it? Add-on DLC, whatever it is, called Scalecaller. When they came out with that, they broke my MagSorc. I mean, busted, wouldn't work at all. So what I did was I, of course, got mad, cried a little, and then I went back to work and figured out how to rebuild this character here to make it worthwhile again, and I have succeeded. So let me show you what I've done here. First off, let's look at the attributes. 64 in Magicka, nothing in health, nothing in stamina. This is a pure Magicka build. Also, our spell crit is 72%. It's a crit build, which means that we're going to do critical damage a lot. In fact, almost 3/4 of the time, we're going to be doing critical damage. Okay, if we go here and look at our equipment, what we'll find is that I have half Mother's Sorrow and half Juliano's. They all have magic enchantment. They all have divines. I have five. Well, it says I have 5 of each. The real truth of it is, I have a little bit different split than that, but the staff counts as 2 for the Mother's Sorrow, and then there's 3, 4, 5. That's the rest of those, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 6. I'm sorry, Juliano's. There's another Mother's Sorrow. What all this really means, if you really care, is that you just need to mix and match the Juliano's with the Mother's Sorrow. Make sure you have 5 of each. That is 10 items. And remember, when I counted everything, it came up to 11 items, and the staff counts as 2, so that's 12, which means you can have 2 items that are anything else, whatever you want. Maybe a monster set, who knows? The other thing that's interesting about this build is I do have 1 heavy item. The chest piece I have is a heavy, the rest are light. I just do that for a little extra health. The staff I'm using is a lightning staff. Its enchantment is that it restores 461 magicka and deals 2,766 damage whenever it procs. Because it's infused, it procs pretty often. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge this up here so that it's at full charge as we're going through, so I don't have to stop and charge that. The other thing is the rings and the necklace are set up to add 145 magicka recover each, and they increase my magicka by 820 each. Okay, next thing we want to look at is the skill points. Okay, so what I'm using is Critical Surge. I was using I can't even think of what it's called now. I was using the opposite of Critical Surge. Imagine that. I think it's Critical Strike. I forget what it was. But what it amounts to is it doesn't work anymore. They broke it. That's why I had to fix this build. What used to be a self-heal became a group heal, and it just procced off of critical healing, so it was useless. So what I did was I switched over to Critical Surge. And when I do that, it increases my weapon damage by 20%. I'm really not going to do weapon damage with the staff. I'm doing magicka damage. But, I'll take the 20% loss in staff if I get to keep my health, which has actually been pumped up a little bit to 3,030 health per second. A little more survivability. Pretty nice. And I believe it's Critical Pulse was the other one, the old one. But Critical Surge is the one I'm using now. Alright, enough of that. Stop crying. Lightning Flood is the next item I'm using. Deals 1,848 shock damage to enemies in a 6-foot radius, or 6 meter radius, sorry, every second for 8 seconds. Blockade of Storms does 1,325 damage per second in an 18 by 12 meter area. Lasts now for 12 seconds. Nice. So knowing this lasts more than this, I will put the Blockade of Storms first. And then after that is Daedric Tomb, drops 3 mines down. They will last for 30 seconds. Each one of them individually explodes for 6,818 damage when something runs over it. That means you can hurt 3 different enemies with it. Nice. It also mobilizes the enemy for 2 seconds. I don't think that's a really big deal, but I guess anything you can do to slow down the baddies is a good thing. But these are my fun toys. Inner Light increases your max magic by 4%, increases spell crit rating by 2,191, really cranks up the damage. And then for the ultimate or the button, I'm using Thunderous Rage. After 2 seconds, it develops up to a storm. It deals 7,708 shock damage to everyone within an 8-meter radius, and that damage is done every second for 7 seconds. A lot of damage. So, yeah, it's definitely a good button. So, what else do we have? Bar 2. Oh, nothing. It's a 1-bar build. Okay, so there's nothing on the other bar. What should we do as far as passives go? Easy. For dark magic, take them all. Daedric Summoning, don't bother. You're not using any Daedric Summoning abilities. Storm Calling, take them all. See, it's very simple. I don't make this build difficult at all. Weapon, Destruction Staff, take all the passives. Armor, Light Armor, take all the passives. You do have a piece of heavy armor if you choose to do so, or maybe you choose to have 2 pieces of it for a little bit extra health. If you do, use Resolve, Constitution, Juggernaut. Don't bother with the other 2. They don't do anything unless you have 5 pieces. If you have 5 pieces, you're a tank. you should not be running this build. It's going to take forever to kill anything. World, Soul Magic. You definitely want Soul Summons. It will revive you once every hour for free. That means you get a mulligan once every hour. You can die and come back, and it costs you nothing. But if you do die often, there's also Soul Lock, which has a 10% chance of filling an empty soul gem. So that means every 10 baddies you kill, you get 1 soul gem filled. Pretty sweet deal. I have 381 right now, and 4 that are unfilled. They'll get filled along the way here as I'm running through this dungeon. Vampire, I'm not doing anything with it. I am a level 1 vampire, not getting any benefit from it whatsoever. None. Guilds, not really doing anything with the guilds. Fighter Guild, I have Intimidating Presence, that's just for quests. And Banish the Wicked, which will generate 9 ultimate when you kill an undead, Daedra, or werewolf. Kind of useful. Mage's Guild, the only thing that you're going to be using with this build is Persuades of Will, and that's for quests, nothing else. Not going to get into any other abilities. I'm not using any of the others, so no reason to delve into those. Racials, I am a high elf, so I took all the passives. Depending on what race you are, you may or may not want to take all the passives. They may or may not benefit you. You'll have to judge for yourself. I'm not going to go through all the passives for every single one. So, question now is, how do we run this build? Alright, well, it runs a lot like before. Except for we just have a different spell in place. So, like we did before, let's get rid of our friends here, because they're annoying and they need to go away. Alright. By the way, this guy right here never thanks me. Ever. He just bows down and acts like he's hurt. Yeah, real loser. Alright, well, that's besides the point. So, there's our first real group of baddies. So here's what we're going to do. And anybody that's seen the build before knows how this is played. We're going to start out with, instead of Power Surge, yeah, I remembered the name now. Instead of Power Surge, we now have Critical Surge. We're going to use Critical Surge to get our health going. We're then going to throw down a Blockade of Storms as we're running at them, making sure that the Blockade of Storm lays down on the enemies. As we get right on top of them, we're going to drop a Lightning Flood right on top of ourselves. And what this is going to do for us is kill things around us that get too close. And then we're going to throw down some Daedric Tombs, which are the Daedric Mines, and then things get real fun. Just watch and pay attention to this. You'll enjoy this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Through the mines, through the mines, through the mines. And through the mines. So what I'm doing is I'm laying down the mines and I'm tricking them into running across them. As they run across, they take damage. As they take damage, they die. Now the other thing you can do is, because everything in this build is basically damage over time. I know what you're going to say, oh, the Daedric mines aren't. Yeah, they kind of are, because they're going to sit there for 30 seconds, and if you lure the enemy over them, they kill the enemy over time. So there is nothing you need to do except for lay one down every now and then. So that leaves you free to do heavy attack. So what we're going to do is, while we're running around and trying to get them to run across our Daedric mines, we're also going to heavy attack so that we get our Magicka back. So this is a build that doesn't run out of energy. Great, right? So you have 10,000 health that is going to be rejuvenated constantly by your critical surge. You have 31,000 Magicka, which will be regenerated by your heavy strikes. You have 9,549 stamina for rolling, dodging, blocking, whatever. And this is without any single food or drink. Which means if you use a good food or drink, you become even more powerful. Woohoo! And the reason that that you're going to heal so well, because that's part of this, is because you're going to be healing every time you critically strike. You're going to critically strike 3/4 of the time. And you have the Mundus Stone, the Thief, which really gets that critical strike percentage shot up there. Like I said, 72.5. That's huge. So, let's go beat some people up. And by the way, I have a nice little, I don't know if you can see it here, right above where it shows my skills. I have a little bar there that has the cross swords with a number beside it, and then another one with a plus symbol. The where it says 23,870, that is my average DPS. It's a little add-on I have. The plus symbol is my average health regeneration. So, and I think the number at the end is how long I fought the last battle, I guess. So let's see what we can generate for numbers there. See if we can get some decent numbers pumping up. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Nope, I'm not going to die. Now I'm going to hold down the heavy, which I wasn't doing before. Trying to get my Magicka back. And for some reason, there we go. Just wasn't lining up with them. So even though I did it all wrong right there, I still survived. So when can you totally mess up and still live? I mean, really. And I'm just throwing down the mines and using the heavy attack to kill people and to get some energy back. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm even not really doing it all that well right now, because as you noticed, I'm at 75% for Magicka. I should actually be constantly at 100. So let's see if we can do a little bit better this time. The biggest thing about this build is you need to constantly be hurting things, or you're going to die fast. Because you are a glass cannon. And I literally mean you are a glass cannon. But as long as you're constantly causing damage, you should be able to stay alive. So let's drop an ultimate here. Get rid of these guys. And he just locked me in place. I don't care. Because all I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw some Daedric mines down. Do my 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to show you just how ridiculous this build is. I'm just going to stand here and beat the daylights out of this guy. So as you can see, still killing. 2, 3. You saw my health go down there pretty good a moment ago? You're like, oh no, yours is gonna die. No, not by this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heavy attack to get my magicka back up. And I'll throw a Daedric Mine in there just to make him mad. I don't like him anyway. This is the monster that ate my French fries. Wrong thing to do. And almost done with this battle. Okay, so at the end here, I was able to come up with about an average for that. It took me about a little bit over a minute to kill that guy. I averaged 12,000 DPS, and I healed about 1,500 per second. Not bad. And if I go into my program called CMX, it does confirm that the DPS I was doing was 12,633, and that the total damage I did to everyone at that point was almost a mil. So about a mil minute damage I'm doing. Not bad. Now the best part is, if you get a group of enemies close together, you can do even more. Now, there is one problem with this build, and this is basically a problem with any build. It's not just this one. And that is, if you get enemies that are sparsely, that they're just not hanging out together, this can be a nightmare. So what I try to do is get these guys together so I can keep doing damage. Because if I don't, they're going to get me. And I got to regenerate, so I got to get there. You go with the heavy going. And I kill him, turn around. Again, about creating damage to keep the health going. That's why I hit the Blockade of Storms. Blockade of Storms. And then I'm going to drop a little bit of little fun time there with the mines. And Storm, mines, gone. Done. Didn't die. Alright. So, this next part, for people that know this map, is there is going to be a group of baddies that shows up right here. What I want to do is I want to take advantage of the fact I know they're going to be there. So these mines last for 30 seconds. I'm going to drop the mines now. And then I'm going to come here. I'm going to hit the button. Hurry up and get back. I'm just going to keep dropping mines on them. I'm not even trying to use heavy attacks right now. Because if I do, these guys are going to overwhelm me. Boom. Gone. That quick. Now, the only bad thing about what I just did is I have to, is my magicka is down. But not a big deal. I'll get it back. So, let's drop an ultimate on this guy. And this is where I get to have a little fun. It becomes a little game at this point, is I drop my mines down on the floor, and then I just get him to run him over. As you can see, he is hitting all three of them. So each one is individual. They are not working. These mines don't work together. Not happening today. Now, obviously, if a mine's behind them like that one there, and you know, the bad guy's between me and the mine, I'm not going to do the stupid thing and, you know, just try to run around him and get him to hit it. It's no point to it. Throw in our ultimate. Oops. There we go. I gotta get him in the range of my ultimate, or else the ultimate isn't that ultimate. Oh well. You get the idea. Run over that one. Run over that one. You notice I am not running out of magicka. But the bad guy is definitely running out of life. Oh, I threw that one way over there. Sorry. Another thing to know about the mines is that if you have any on the floor when you drop a new set, the old set automatically gets picked up, so you can't just lay them all over the place. It would be cheap if you could. Fun, but it would be cheap. So you can't create an incredible minefield, unfortunately. And he is dead. Da-da-da-da. Alright. Let's make sure I'm going through the right way. I have a habit of going the wrong way. I don't know why. I like being lost. And you notice I was able to use the ultimate twice on him, and I still have ultimate for the next bad guy. Okay, now, this next room is a bugger, because, remember, I'm a glass cannon. There are going to be people firing at me from all over the place. I may or may not make it through this the first round. I'm going to try, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run in, I'm going to drop my ultimate on as many as I can, and immediately start attacking. So what I got to do, I'm going to line up here, I'm going to hit my critical surge here, and get ready with the ultimate. This is one of those things you have to do this just right. Because if you don't, well, you're not going to make it. Keep damaging him. Nope. I let up. That's okay. Remember that mulligan we were talking about earlier? I get to come back. Oh, and just in case you think you're going to pull a sneaky Pete here and just stand here around the corner and pick them off as they come around, don't bother. They shoot through the wall. It's so annoying. So, yeah, it's just not going to happen. So, let's get my critical surge, and then get rid of these guys quick. And I was so close, too. That's the irritating here. That's the irritating thing. I should have made it that time. Now, the funny thing about this battle is, here I am fighting this guy, okay? These guys just walk up like there's nothing going on, nothing better to do. And they're like, hey, why don't you kill him while we help her? You know, it's just a typical thing about this game. NPCs are so useless in this game. It's like they just don't even know you exist. But, you know what? Didn't need them anyway. Done. Have fun, guys. Alright. On to the next battle. So, we are going to go up here. Hang a left. I've been in this darn maze so many times, I know it pretty much backwards and forwards now, except for that one place back there where sometimes I still get lost. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonzo. Alright. And then around the corner here, we got some more fun. Again, the idea is to try to lay the mines in such a way that, you know, they're going to run over them if you can manage that. Now, some enemies will not chase you, so don't keep trying to get them to run across the mines if it's not going to happen. It's just kind of stupid. Not even kind of, it is. So don't do that to yourself. Alright. So here we go. Another bad guy. My strategy here, and this is just the way I like to do this, is I like to get rid of the imps first, just because they're annoying. It's not really part of the strat. It doesn't really have to happen that way. It doesn't have to be like this. But these guys are just so annoying that they just make themselves, you know, my first targets. And plus, once I get rid of these guys, all this guy is going to do is just drop some skeletons on me. They're pretty wimpy. So let's drop a little mines around them. Yeah, we get it. You're ugly and you're mean. And here's where it becomes a little bit of a game. I just drop the mines down and I just run around him and just try to get him to trigger them all. If you die against this guy, you probably have done something very, very wrong. He's not that powerful. And his skeletons are a joke. And he's just about toast. Alright, come on. That's a good boy. Lay down and roll over. Come on. You know you want to. There we go. Alright, he's done. And we're rolling on towards the end here.
We'll need her before the day is done.
Another easy battle. Da 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 da. Die, die, die. Now I remember to say, I hate these guys. They're just annoying. They just throw fire at you. They're really not all that powerful. By the way, that little red eye that's showing up, yeah, every now and then I hit my 5 button, which turns out to be the inner light. It's a great spell. I mean, it actually makes the invisible visible. Yeah, wasted effort. So, I'm not being all powerful or all seeing. I'm just being stupid and accidentally hit the button. Deal with it. Not charging for my lessons. Okay. So, let's get rid of Mr. Clanfear here. Spin him around in a nice little circle. He's gone. And this guy will be the next one. Yep. Ta-da. Okay, this one area, you have to be careful because you have enemies over there, you have enemies over there. This is like that other room where everybody is all scattered and they all want to kill you at once. So you have to be real careful here or you could die real quick. You want to get rid of as many as you can as fast as you can. So when you begin with, you're throwing a lot of these mines around and then trying to get them to run over them. All that you'll be left with is the archers. And you can use the blockade of storms to get from one guy to the next. So you keep doing damage so you don't die. Piece of cake. Now, you would think, looking at what you got going on down there, this would be easier. But for some reason, it never is. So, be very cautious through here. You want to, again, really try to get rid of everybody really fast here. Use a little bit of the heavy attacks, but for the most part, get rid of people quick. There we go. And then you get down to the last guy, you can have a little fun with him. Throw a little inner light at him, just to show him how awesome you are, and how you can hit the wrong button just like me. Alright. And this guy taunts you. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let him hit me. I'm not going to be blocking anything he does. We're just going to show you just how well I can stand toe-to-toe with this guy. Come on. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Alright. There we go. Made him mad. Throw an ultimate down. Again, I'm not blocking anything. I'm just letting him kick my butt. I don't care. I'm going to continue fighting him. I'm not going to run out of magicka. I'm not going to get destroyed. At least that's what I'm telling you. We'll find out if that really happens the way I say it will. Now, when I get up, typically I will immediately hit the storm barrier. I'm sorry, blockade of storms. And the reason I'm doing that is, again, I want to keep my crit healing up. So I want to start doing damage again right away. That's how I ensure that after he's knocked me down and pushed me away, that I'm still doing damage to him. And it's time to do another ultimate as soon as I teach him a little lesson here in manners. Alright. See if I can keep him inside the ultimate this time. So far, so good. Yeah. Come on up here. Got some more fun for you. Now, you'll have some people that will tell you, they'll be like, oh, wow, I could kill this guy in, like, less than a minute because I can do 80k of damage on a skeleton or whatever. And it's like, okay, great, that's really cool. But, again, this build is not supposed to be the best build ever. This is supposed to be a one-bar build, and a one-bar build that anybody could do, anybody could use, and be successful. That's what this is really all about. This is about making it so that you can actually participate in dungeons. Or, as in this dungeon, you could actually solo it by yourself. Now, there are some caveats here. I don't want you going to every single dungeon and going, Yoshi said I can run all dungeons with this build. Because I'm going to say, nah, never happened. What I will tell you this. You can run the low-level dungeons with this build solo by yourself. These are all the level 1 dungeons. Anything with a 1 after it. So if we go in and we look at the dungeons here, to give you an idea of what some of them are you could do, I will name some of them that I know specifically I have done and can be done with this build. Fungal Grotto 1, Spindle Clutch 1, Banished Cells 1, Darkshade Caverns 1, Elden Hollow 1, Whereas Sewers 1, I think. There's one guy in there that is crazy boss, might give you a little bit of trouble. City of Ash 1, there's also a boss in there that could give you some trouble, but I think you can make it past him. Crypt of Hearts 1, Vaults of Madness, believe it or not, you can make it through. You can probably make it through this build. But you're going to have to be careful because the enemy does like to hold you up in the air and prevent you from healing. you're probably going to need a little bit of help on that one, some kind of a drink or food to get your health up for that. But you can make it through. Other than that, the rest of them are DLCs or level 2s. Probably not going to make it through on your own with this build. That's when you bring your friends in, and when you're playing along beside your friends, they'll be like, he's not so bad. I mean, he's not the greatest, DPSer in the world, but he's not so bad. He's, I don't have to keep him alive constantly. So, this build really, really, really is a good build. It's a solid build. Again, it's not a build that you're going to run solo in trials. If someone has that build, show me. I want to see it. But it is certainly a build that you can do some of the lower level dungeons solo and get some better gear. And then you can use that better gear to run the higher level vet dungeons with others and get even better gear. So this is your opportunity to go from to oh my god. So that's all I have for this build. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please subscribe to the channel. I plan on putting more builds up, especially now that Scalecaller, or whatever they call it, has messed up all of my builds. So now I have to rebuild them. But I will be posting more builds, 1-bar builds to start with, and then I'm going to move up to 2-bar builds that, again, are simple, but at the same point, effective. In fact, one of the things I want to do is change up my 1-bar builds to make it so the 2nd bar is more about causing damage to bosses, and that the 1st bar is more about doing area of effect. So kind of like a split between. That'll be my next challenge for myself. But I got to make it through this one first. So I hope you had a good time. And, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. I definitely appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching. Have a good day or a good night, depending on when you're watching this.